Hi everyone, my name is Sohail Coelho, and I'm a healer and a teacher. I basically help people to understand themselves, with which to ultimately transcend themselves. And welcome to another edition of Spirit Speaks, where every week I give you a transmission that Spirit is giving me, and then some perspectives on how to live it. And I'd love to hear how this is going because this is a little bit outside my comfort zone, and it makes me nervous doing these videos. But I hope it's valuable. I hope it's giving you information that you can use in your life and perspectives. And so I'd love to hear it. Comment, like, subscribe, do all those good things. Be gentle. But I'd love to hear what you think. So this week, the transmission was quite long. But then a few days later, I was sort of able to synthesize it down, and it was what the synthesis, which I'll then unpack, is selfishness and service go hand in hand. And what this basically means is we have to be selfish to cut through some of our bullshit in order to get to this spirit that is the essence and the truth of who we are. And when you get there, because our origin spirit carries the frequency of harmony and service with it, once you get there, you will automatically find a way to be of service to the world in your own way. So there's like a lot to kind of unpack there. The first piece is like the path of selfishness. So let's just say there's three pieces. There's this path of selfishness, the origin spirit, and service, and kind of reinterpretations of service. The path of selfishness says, I'm going to be really ruthless in cutting through the simple needs of the egoic self or the wounded child who thinks that he or she needs a series of things in order to feel comfortable, to avoid pain, to avoid worthlessness, to be seen in a certain way. So there is an originating paradigm that your child is all about upholding. And it could be the avoidance of pain, it could be the avoidance of getting hurt, it could be the avoidance of, generally it's the avoidance of something. And so there are all these kind of desires that the child needs to have fulfilled to basically uphold the paradigm. So the path of selfishness says, I need to cut through that and then probably start working with a teacher to be able to start to understand why those paradigms are there in the first place and what are the emotions that are associated with those paradigms and how do I release the charge. And it's a bit of work, all right? And find a teacher. If you're ready for this, you know it. Find a teacher who can help you kind of cut through that, understand it. Because the gift of that process is this bedrock, this origin spirit. I was in a session with a client last week, and he used those words. He said, I want to understand my origin spirit. And I had never heard it kind of put in that way before. And I love it. And because what it does is it makes you understand that there is an essence that is you, that you come from, that is beyond the conditioning and the programming of the egoic mind. There is an essence that sits behind that. And to be able to access it, you kind of have to be like ruthless. Ruthless is not the right word. Focused. It's not ruthless. It's actually quite compassionate. But it's focused and it's disciplined. And that's kind of what I was saying. Where ruthless is you have to be really disciplined about not allowing yourself to live within the spiral of the kind of the simpler, baser needs of the child or the egoic self, because that's going to stay in within a certain frequency of like comfort. Like it's basically like, let me not feel anything too uncomfortable. Let me just stay in a certain place. So the discipline and the focus is basically like, okay, I'm not going to kind of initiate and engage in these things. I'm going to kind of go deeper. Because once I get to the origin spirit, I also understand what the origin spirit needs, how it wants to express itself on the human plane. And once I understand that, then I'm gonna be able to play a whole different game. Like life takes on a whole different feel. And the service part is basically the origin spirit. And kind of what I was told was that it carries the frequency of harmony. Like if we didn't have the wounded child and the conditioning and all of that stuff, and we were all operating from our origin spirit, we would be in dramatically different states of harmony. Because that origin spirit, once you find it and you understand how to live from that place, even if your origin spirit is a builder and a constructor, what you will find within that is a desire to be in harmony with the world and with harmony with everything else. And so that is the path of service. The path of service is the path of harmony that says, I'm going to, just through how I live and how I take care of people and connect to people, I'm going to honor harmony. I'm going to honor who they are as origin spirits because I know who I am. And in that, we are of service to the world. So service doesn't have to look like a traditional, I'm a healer or a teacher or whatever. Service can simply be honoring that origin spirit. And then when you honor it in you, you know it exists in everyone else. And so you honor it in everyone else. So the reason I'm getting these transmissions is because it's very much Spirit telling me that it's time for me to kind of let go a bit of these like kind of baser desires of avoiding uncomfortable feelings inside myself and just start getting deeper and deeper to my origin spirit. And, I was thinking about why I do healing and teaching work. And I think there was always a part of me that was like, well, it's the path of service. And somehow you kind of get this like spiritual superiority with it. But I'm like, I'm also super selfish. I love this work. I love being in session with people and I love helping people unlock. And I love swimming in these words and this language. So if it didn't feel this good, I wouldn't do it. Honestly, I wouldn't do it. I'm no martyr. So the path of selfishness for me is the path of service. Like it goes hand in hand. I love doing this and it helps people. But that's what Spirit's telling me is your origin spirit has the frequency of service and harmony with it. So when you find the thing that is the most honest and true expression of that origin spirit, it will naturally be in harmony with the world. You will find a way to express that spirit in a way that is harmonic with life. And in that, you are of service to the world. But to find that, the path of selfishness says, I've got to be disciplined and focused to cut through some of the bullshit, to go a little bit deeper. And I probably need to find a teacher. I probably need to get some support. I probably need to really start to connect with the feelings that exist inside of me. But once I do, and I get closer and I get closer to that origin spirit, you'll start to feel like the texture of life is going to change. And you will innately want to express that spirit out into the world, and that expression will innately be harmonic with the world. And that is the path of service. I hope that makes sense. It's really helping me. It's regrounding me into not the path of service, but the path of constantly honoring who I am, coming back to who I am, and letting everything I do be an expression of that. And trusting that expression will naturally, if it's true from within me, will naturally be harmonic and of service. I wish you much love. and be good to each other. All right. Mwah. Ciao.